If they get an order from Congress and the president saying release the Epstein files and they do not comply with it, we would know right then and there we don't live in a democracy anymore. So stop pretending we live in a democracy. There is no client list. It's all speculation. All the women are lying. So I've been thinking a lot lately. Say if Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna's bipartisan bill to discharge the Epstein files actually passes through Congress. Now this looks more and more unlikely because Congress is filled with a bunch of cowards who are starting to cower away from actually releasing the Epstein files. Whether that has to do with pressure from the White House or outside donors, because we're already starting to see support for that discharge petition starting to fall away. But let's speculate for a minute. Let's say that bill actually gets enough support where it forces a vote on the Epstein files. Let's say it actually gets through Congress. That's a big if, but let's say it does. And let's even have a bigger if. Donald Trump signs it into law. Now I have a real question here. Will the DOJ comply with it? Now we've already seen similar situations play out with the DOJ, with the Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation, where they really didn't want to comply. Donald Trump didn't really want to comply. And then the Supreme Court handed down their ruling saying, bring back Kilmar. And they tried to slow walk it and they were like, well, we can't bring him back. And once the Department of Justice started getting threats of being held in contempt of court, they were like, oh, we could bring him back the whole time. So they brought him back. So we've already crossed this line before, questioning whether the DOJ will even bring back Kilmar Garcia, and they did. Now the Epstein files is another test of our DOJ. If they get an order from Congress and the president saying release the Epstein files and they do not comply with it, we would know right then and there we don't live in a democracy anymore. So stop pretending we live in a democracy, because people want to pretend that Donald Trump is the only authoritarian leader we've ever had as president, which is just not true. Now, we've already had the Trump administration testing the fences on what is legal. This is not unusual for the presidency of the United States. We've had FDR intern the Japanese, we've had the Alien Sedition Act, we've had Abraham Lincoln suspend habeas corpus, and for fuck's sake, we went through a civil war. So let's say Pam Bondi gets an order saying, okay, release all the Epstein files, redact the victims, and show all the high-profile names who are associated with Epstein. And people want to put the blame on Trump for all this, which doesn't make much sense to me, because the Epstein saga spans multiple administrations. This is just the one that happens to get the pressure to actually release them. So Trump inadvertently is just holding the potato right now. And you know what's interesting about all this? Trump supporters are not letting this go. I guarantee you, if President Obama's DOJ pulled the exact same stunt, coming out with this Orwellian doublespeak saying that there were no Epstein files, there is no client list, nothing to see here, a lot of liberals who are coming out now trying to support this, which I welcome by the way, if President Obama was president, they'd be like, I trust President Obama. He wouldn't lie to us. So this is already partisan as fuck. But it seems to me Republicans' innate distrust of the government has come in handy in this instance. And apparently a lot of Donald Trump supporters aren't cult members, which we've been led to believe. Donald Trump's like, there is no Epstein files. And they're like, yeah, we don't believe you, Mr. President. We don't believe Pam Bondi and the DOJ. There is no client list. It's all speculation. All the women are lying. When they said they were forced to serve as high-profile figures. And I do think it's important to preface this. Just because someone would be on that list doesn't necessarily mean they did anything wrong. Donald Trump falls in that category. I'm still highly skeptical that he actually did anything wrong. It's just so toxic to be associated with Jeffrey Epstein, who had his tentacles in all the political elite, all the major parties. President Bill Clinton comes to mind. And that makes me think of something. Let's say Donald Trump isn't president right now, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Right now we have strong Democrat support because it's anti-Trump. They can just say in the 2026 election cycle, hey, we tried to release the Epstein files and Donald Trump wouldn't allow us. But say it actually came down to Democratic votes, they would find a way to weasel out of it as well, because they want to protect people like Bill Clinton. And this is my main message on my channel. It doesn't matter who's in charge. Everyone just supports the dear leader now. Partisanship is just fucking toxic, where party loyalty is above everything else. This authoritarianism comes from multiple administrations. Let's stop pretending Donald Trump's the special one. And at the end of the day, our elected officials are just a reflection of the people, which means the people just elect shitty leaders who have led our country where we are today.
And if you made it this far, you are awesome. Do me a solid. Hit like, and please consider subscribing. And if you disagree with me, that's just fine. Have a good day. And check out some of those videos on screen right now. Maybe you should click one.